Social Security is running out of money. According to a recent research report by the Social Security Administration, after the year 2035, Social Security will not be able to pay their full benefits. Actually, you'll get a reduced benefit of 75% of your full retirement benefit after the year 2035. How can this happen? How can Social Security be running out of money? Well, we've robbed Peter to pay Paul. And unfortunately, those hens are coming to roost. So what do you need to do to prepare for Social Security and the lack of benefits that they're going to be able to pay in the future? Well, I've got 3 steps for you, as well as a detailed financial EKG to show you how we are preparing our clients and how you can implement this into your life today to prepare yourselves for the shortfall that's coming in Social Security. Now, the first thing that you need to do is you need to start planning now. You need to start planning for less Social Security benefit in the future. You do not need to plan on your full retirement benefit, especially if you're in your 30s, your 40s, even in your 50s. You need to be thinking, how am I going to make up that 25% cut in my Social Security? Now, the second thing you need to be doing to plan for a shortfall in the Social Security system is you need to be saving more of your own retirement dollars. If you have a 401k, an IRA, a Roth IRA, a SEP, a simple, a brokerage account, any form of retirement savings account, you need to be putting money into those accounts. If you have a 401k and your company gives you a match, please put enough in there to get the company match. But if you can do more, do more. It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars. It could be 1% more. It could be $1 more. Just put in more to your retirement savings, knowing that Social Security is not going to be able to pay you your full benefits, and you need to prepare for yourself so that you'll have enough retirement income to get you to retirement and last throughout your entire retirement. All right, the third thing that you can be doing to prepare for a shortfall with Social Security is setting yourself up guaranteed income sources. Now, that might be through dividends, that might be through real estate, that might be through annuities, but think about income. Don't think about assets, think about cash flow. In retirement, cash flow is king. Your Social Security is a cash flow. So how can you replace a cash flow? You replace it with another cash flow. And you want to be thinking, how can I guarantee or at least certify my retirement income so that if there are changes in the Social Security payments or in the stock market, my cash flow is still there. What I don't want to see happen is at 80 years old, you have to go back to work. Let's guarantee some of those cash flows now. All right, so let's get into a scenario right now, understanding what happens if Social Security goes down and how can we prepare for that. All right, let me show you the 2 reports that I was talking about just a minute ago, examining where the Social Security Administration is coming from when it's talking about payments. Are you ready? So here's the first article. This is in the Wall Street Journal, and it says Social Security funds are running dry. Don't panic. All right, now it says don't panic, and we're going to get into why we might not want to panic, but we need a plan, right? Okay, an aging population is pushing up the cost of the Social Security program as a smaller share of Americans directly pay into it. There are more boomers retiring. It's peak 65, meaning that in 2 years, all the boomers will be 65 years old, which means most of them are collecting Social Security. The average age for Social Security claiming right now is 64 years old. And so most boomers in 2 years will be collecting all of the Social Security benefits. That imbalance means that Social Security could become unable to provide full retirement and disability benefits to Americans in 2035, the program's trustees warned on Monday. So let's go to the trustees report. So this is from Social Security. Okay, so this is not me making up something or this is me going to some funky website or conspiracy theory. This is from the Social Security's website, and it says, a message to the public. The trustees of the Social Security and Medicare Trust Fund report on the current and projected financial statuses of the two programs every year. They do this every year. Based on our best estimates, this year reports show that the old age and survivors insurance, that's Social Security, will be able to pay 100% of total scheduled benefits until 2033. Okay, that's unchanged. At that time, the fund's reserves will become depleted and continuing the program will be sufficient to pay only 79% of scheduled benefits. 79% of scheduled benefits. That's a 21% cut. Now, some reports have said 25, some have said 30. Social Security saying 21. Now, the disability fund will be able to pay 100% of scheduled benefits through 2098. So if you're on Social Security disability, you would continue to receive your full benefit at least until 2098. So this is something that we've really got to talk about, and that's why I wanted to go through this scenario with David and Cheryl Social. Now, I'm calling it Social because of Social Security. David's a client of mine here in Florida. He's a CPA, and he came to me because he was concerned about, one, tax planning, which was unusual for a CPA to come to me for that, but also he wanted to talk about Social Security, and he wanted to protect a portion of his assets to pay out income in the event that Social Security funds were depleted. So that's what we're going to look at today. And I really want to focus on Social Security and cash flow in this scenario. All right? So we've got David. He's a CPA. He's married to Cheryl. Cheryl is retired. Now, David makes about $110,000 a year. He's 56 and he wants to retire at 60. Now, David works for one of the larger corporate CPAs here in the Tampa Bay area, so he deals with a lot of corporate taxes, and so he really wanted to focus on his individual taxes, and that's why he reached out to me. Now, let's look at Social Security for a minute. So here's David and Cheryl. Their primary benefits for both of them, $2,750 for David and $2,200 for Cheryl. Okay, now Cheryl did work before, she just retired recently, so her benefits $2,200 and his benefits $2,750 at 67. Now, keep in mind, if at the current moment David were to collect Social Security at 62, he would get 70% of his full retirement benefit. At 67, he's going to get 100% of his full retirement benefit, and at 70, he's only going to get 124% of his full retirement benefit. Or I shouldn't say only, he's going to get actually more than the 100% that he was going to collect at 67. Okay, that's a little Freudian slip because we're going to talk about only here in just a second. So let's think about this from what we just talked about. Remember, the Social Security report is saying that they're only going to be able to pay out 79% of scheduled benefits after the year 2033. So for David and Cheryl, if they want to retire at 60, which is the year 2028, at 62, they still don't want to collect Social Security. They like to collect at 67. So if we go to 2035, this benefit here will be reduced by, let's just assume 20%. Let's make it an even round number. So let's go and reduce $2,750 by 20%. So $2,750 minus $550, that would make it $2,200. So this benefit with a reduction would be $2,200. Cheryl's would go down, what is that, $440. Now, let me show you what it looks like with no reduction first, and then let's put the reductions in there, okay? Now, from an asset standpoint, David's got a 401k of $300,000, which they're contributing to. They've got $20,000 in the bank. Cheryl has an IRA of $75,000, and David has an IRA of $300,000, okay, that he rolled over out of a 401k into an IRA when he left his previous job about a decade ago. Now, we're looking at $695,000 in total assets. That's current. Now, he does have a house of $550,000. But we're going to work until 60. So we're still going to contribute, and we're still going to get market growth for the next few years. So I'm going to skip some of these tabs, and I want to go right to retirement. So if we go to retirement with no reduction in benefits, okay, at 100, based on their current expenses, here's their current expenses, at 100, they'd have $35,244. Now, what you can see here is we are going to delay taking Social Security until 67. Now, I'm just showing you this from our planning. We might take it early, we might take it later. I just want to show you from a planning standpoint. Now, let's go back to income and let's look at Social Security. So let's reduce these benefits. So at 67, 2750 would be 2200. That's a reduced benefit of 20%. Now let's take 2200, let's subtract out $440. That would take this benefit to 1760. So it's a reduced benefit, right? Because Social Security will not be able to pay out. Remember, I just showed you this. The Old Age Survivor Insurance Trust Fund, that's the trust fund that pays your Social Security benefit, is scheduled to pay 100% of benefits until 2033. So come back here. We're collecting at 2035. So we've got to reduce those benefits. Let's go back to retirement. Now what happens? Look at this. We're out of money at 86. Remember, at 100, we had $35,000 plus our house with our normal Social Security benefits. But a reduction in Social Security benefits for them based on their spending, they're out of money at 86 years old. That's a big deal. That's why we got to plan for this. That's why we got to have a plan of action. Now, keep in mind, there's some positives in all this. Here's one of the positives. The rate of return that they need to avoid a shortfall is 5.8%. So if they make 5.8% on their investments, they're going to be fine. They're never going to run out of money, even with a Social Security shortfall. But I'll bet you a moon pie and an RC Cola that if Social Security doesn't pay benefits after 2033, that we've had some issues in the economy and politically, and the market might not average 8-9% like it has the last 50 years. Might be less. And so again, we got to have a plan for this. So let's go to our plan for David and Cheryl. All right. So this is a scenario that I'm looking at for David and Cheryl. What we want to do is guarantee some income, because that's David's biggest concern. His concern's not saving for retirement. His concern's not inflation. His concern's not necessarily taxes, even though we're doing some tax planning. His main concern is running out of money. And in David's family, the males usually don't live very long or longer than the wife, and so he's concerned for Cheryl. So again, we're trying to do some planning for guaranteed income. Let's look at this. Here's our Social Security payments with the current values put in. But remember, if we're collecting after 2035, we're going to have a reduced benefit of about 20%. So let's go back over here. We're going to make this 2,200. And I forgot what Cheryl's was. Let me look at my calculator. 1760. All right, 1760. Okay, so Cheryl's benefit gets reduced to 1760. Now let's go to assets. So here's what we've done. We've got the money in the bank still. We've got the 401k, of which we're contributing to, and we're getting the company match. Remember, one of the things that I talked about, one of the ways that you can protect yourself from Social Security going down or your Social Security payments being reduced is to continue to invest. David's doing a great job. Look at this. He's contributing 12% of his salary into his 401k. He's getting a 3% match. So he's doing a great job. If he can increase this, I'd like to see that happen. So I would like to see, can we increase your 401k contribution? That's something for another video. But those are ways that you can protect yourself, because if you can grow your nest egg and then create cash flow from that nest egg, dividends, annuity income, rental income, whatever, that's going to help protect you from a 20% decrease in the Social Security system. All right? We've got $0 now in our IRA. Where'd that money go, Drew? Here's what we did. So for David, we took his $300,000 and we put it into an annuity with Nationwide, because what we're wanting to do is get guaranteed income. Now, I'm not trying to sell you an annuity. I'm not trying to sell you a product. All I'm trying to do is say, how can we guarantee some income? And this is the way we do it. I always tell people we're like CarMax. If you come to me, if I go to CarMax, I got 3 kids, a wife, 2 dogs, and myself, right? That's how many is that? 7 of us? If I go to CarMax and the guy's like, hey, Drew, I got to show you this Carrera 911. You should buy this car. I'm going to be like, dude, I got 7 people I got to fit in my car. I need a minivan, right? So David came to me with a certain concern. I said, hey, I'm CarMax. Let me show you the options. You don't like the Honda? How about the Kia Carnival? You don't like the Kia Carnival? How about the, I don't know, another minivan? Put it in the comments. I have a Honda Odyssey. So that's what we did. We got a Honda because we have a family. So for David, that's what we're looking at here. So $300,000. Now please don't take my man card because I drive a Honda minivan. I like my Honda minivan. The doors automatically open, the kids just jump in and then they close. It's pretty nice. I got heated seats too in Florida. Why do you need heated seats? I don't know. So there's $300,000. Now what we're gonna look at doing for David is we're gonna pay out a joint payment of $2,891. Let me tell you what this looks like. So this is nationwide. I just like this calculator. Not that we're going to use them, but this is a cool calculator. You can actually go to their website, get this calculator. If you can't find it, call me. I'll help you find it. But this allows you to say, okay, how much do we need to put in, and then how much will this guarantee for what year? We're going to start this at 65, and we're going to do this as joint, okay? So we're doing a joint payment. That means this $2,891 is never going to go away. So if David passes or Cheryl passes, that $2,891 is still going to be paying. That's why it's so important to solidify your cash flow, okay? Now remember, we reduce Social Security. Now look at this. They're out of money at 92. Remember the previous scenario, they were out of money at 86. Now they still had their Social Security payments, a reduced Social Security payment coming in, but they were out of spendable assets. So let me show you what that looks like. So now, at 92, we still have Social Security coming in. It's a reduced benefit with COLA, but notice this second column. We now have this other cash flow. So even though the investable assets are at zero, we still have these two. We have $7,486 and $2,891. Net monthly income of $10,029. You see that? Social Security, monthly cash flow, taxes withheld, $10,000. So we still have $10,000 in income, plus our house. So it's not a bad scenario. Here's what I'm trying to say. If Social Security is going to reduce its benefits to 79%, okay, so if they're going to go down 21%, we've got to create cash flow. And that's what we're trying to do here. Dividends, rental income, annuities, whatever you can find that's going to guarantee some cash flow, that's what we're wanting to do to protect us later in life. Up here, David can still work. If it gets really bad, David can continue to work, right? He's a CPA, he has a certain skill set. Maybe you do as well. That's always going to be needed. People are always going to be filing taxes. Corporations are going to be filing taxes. David didn't want to work for a corporate tax company. He could probably open his own shop and do tax returns or go to H&R Block. So there's always something that he can be doing if it's a worst case. But what if he does want to retire? And so this is what we're looking at, is how do we create this cash flow that's going to last throughout his and Cheryl's life. All right? All right, I want to leave you some encouragement in this Social Security video. It says, Galatians 6:9 says this, so let us not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. All right, thank you so much for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.